Hello all, here we are. Still running? Okay. Keeping to my regular tradition of speaking to you, welcome to my front porch. On the stoop with Cat Greenleaf. I don't know what network that's on, CBS. Anyway, somebody asked me about terpenes and indicas and sativas. So I figured I'd just do a short little video talking about cannabinoids and terpenes and how you want to choose what's best for you. You always just look up the charts. I've even just posted them on the group under a question. So, check it out. But terpenes are... I don't have this scripted either, and give me a break. It's super bad migraine, bad neck, and I've been in a flare that's almost like a bad flu for like 4 or 5 days. So I'm just in the blahs, and this is unscripted. I'm going to be going off the phone question there, and I've got some just websites that I can read off of. Make it easy. But I wanted to say hello out here. This is my regular starting point now. I hope you guys can't hear the wind. It's getting windy here. So I'll cut this short. Yeah, you don't know it, but it's 9:30 a.m. here in Marin, Arizona. By the time most of you will see this, you'll probably be tomorrow morning. YouTube is a real slow upload for me. I don't know why. A 1.5 hour video, 2 hour video takes 6 to 8 hours for my tablet to upload it. And it's an up-to-date Samsung Galaxy Tab. I guess since I don't have YouTube Red, okay, YouTube's free service, that's the way I want to keep it free. I can't afford, like these things, I can't afford to mail order them or nothing, because I'd have to charge $20 a shot. But we're going to go inside and talk about cannabinoids and terpenes. Terpenes are just additions that you want to look at with strain identifiers. I've been putting up strain of the day, and I put those, and I take screenshots, and what those are is from leafly.com. That's their description of the cannabinoid and terpene profile. They tell you it's strong citrus and grape flavor, and it's a purple in the name because the buds are purple. They've got Granddaddy Purple and a whole bunch of other stuff added to it. Purple Dream, Purple Skunk, Deep Purple. I've got both Deep Purple and Purple Skunk in there, as well as Green Crack. And the Green Crack, a totally different profile from the purples. And it actually was the first strain that ever made me paranoid. So it could have even been the terpenes in that strain that do that to me. It just gives you that paranoid feeling, even though you're legal. I mean, anybody can come out here and, I got my card. So I'm doing this legally. And this is for legal people or people who want legalization. And that's why I hope people share it. And, at least go back and share my other videos. Watch those. They're really good, I think. Because I go off the cuff a lot, even though I used to take copious amounts of notes. So anyway, I'm going to go inside. Be instantaneous for me. However long it takes for you. See ya. Okay, and I'm back. I'm just having some hot marijuana tea. I told you I get those 3 gallons worth, 3 gallons bags of tea for $10. And it's good. I have it both hot and iced. And I just made a batch, so I have it fresh hot right out of the pot. So here's the questions that I had to ask. How do you find out what combination and what kinds of THC, CBD, terpenes, etc.? Well, there aren't different kinds of THC. There's THC, and there is THCA, THCV. But what it is THCA is how it starts out when it goes in your body. Your THC receptors in your brain take up the acid molecule and make it THC, which activates there. Hits the limbic system and everything. And you also have CBD receptors. And see, CBD receptors are everywhere in your body because it's good for everything. Every one of our organs. I gotta take this off. It's hard to talk. I just gotta remember not to move my neck. But, so everything breaks down. The CBD goes for everywhere. It's for everything. You know, what our systems do, the endocannabinoid system, is, let's put it that way, is as everything goes through your system, all these cannabinoids are in your blood. They go through the blood-brain barrier and everything when you smoke, you know, and that affects everything in your body. And your organs, just like your liver attracts and grabs iron, and that's why it's a high iron food when you harvest it from an animal. And, you know, that's where your iron in your blood comes from, and which is necessary for strength and energy, which I always feel I'm lacking, but those pills never work for me. Anyway, all of our receptors pick and choose the cannabinoids that they need. And they're all just absorbed by the body naturally because they're all basic hydrocarbons. That's one main thing to remember, is that they're hydrocarbons. So let me get back to my websites. Dun, 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 dun. I had it right here. I have a bunch of stuff. This is just from one website, which just search Google cannabinoids and terpenes, and you know they're frequently bounced around the cannabis industry, but they both serve specific purposes, somewhat similar but vastly different. So if you're not sure the difference between cannabinoids and terpenes, you'll hopefully be able to discuss it at your next vaping party. Ha! So, here to educate you. So, the THC and CBD, that's what everybody really talks about. Because the CBD is the relaxing part, and it's good for pain relief, anti-anxiety, anti-everything. And it does not affect your body psychoactively. It's non-psychoactive, and thus non-addictive, because your body will take it. But our bodies produce cannabinoids naturally already. So it doesn't really need to crave it until you're sick and you need more. And that's when you should be using CBD, heavy CBD from hemp. And that's a very well-known, proven cancer cure for many cancers. And THC is now being found to be involved in killing cancers also. So these things affect every part of your body in some way, shape, or form. But as they're simple hydrocarbons, our bodies can't even turn them into anything dangerous. There's nothing dangerous. You know, there might be tiny amounts of carcinogens, but that's what we're breathing every day. In everybody's household, unless you're totally duct taped in, and you know, just having filtered air being pushed in. That's the only way you're not going to be breathing in pollutants. Even every time I go outside, I'm breathing in dust particles. Because this is a desert, and it's windy, and we get a very heavy west wind, and there's no trees blocking it. So we're in a little valley of both the water comes through here, through our property. We're on like a ship. We're 4 foot up. And water gets up to about 2 feet and flowing fast. It's crazy. So anyway, you're going to have to look at your strains. You're going to have to look at what every strain does and take notes. That's what that's the best thing I can tell you to do. Right there is just Google it and get both weed maps, which doesn't have as much strain evidence, descriptions. Leafly is the place. Leafly.com. Lefly.com. That'll give you everything. If there's a strain You can find it on there. And it even starts spelling it out on you if you use the app. You start inputting it, and it comes up with choices of, if you just put in PURP, a bunch of purples show up, like line up in a queue. And it tells you anything purple coming up. And there's a lot of purples. There's thousands of strains now. And some don't even have identifiers. They might be just numbered in a scientific lab someplace. Because they grow this specifically for medical testing. That still goes on, no matter what the government says. So anyway, oils that are secreted in the resinous glands of the plants also produce the cannabinoids, THC and CBD. But terpenes are not unique to cannabis, and they're found in fruits, plants, and herbs. Your entire medicine cabinet, or not medicine cabinet, your spice cabinet, has beneficial herbs. Cinnamon. Okay, you drink that with honey and lemon in hot tea. It's excellent for you. And if you can take it, apple cider vinegar, honey, and cinnamon. And then add a lot of water to it and a lot of honey to make it sweet, to cut the vinegar. But vinegar is good for you, Bragg's especially. Use that. But it's all, our foods have flavors and aromas. And, salads. And then plants like, these little succulents here that I can't even remember right now. But all the plants have terpenes that are smells. Like, everybody is actually mellow in the later months, all due to pine trees. When people get a live tree in their house, and you keep it watered, it puts out beta-pinene. It has alpha-pinene in the needles, which are the leaves. And the aroma that it emits when you bruise it is beta-pinene. And it's actually a calming and relaxing aroma. And it's a calming and relaxing herb to take even the needles and cook it up. It's all good for the body. I don't know if anybody remembers Yule Gibbons back in the 70s. He used to do grape nuts commercials. He said grape nuts are nice and natural. And he'd be peeling stuff off the tree. He says, many parts of the oak tree are edible. And he'd start chewing on this. And that was his commercial. Look up Yule Gibbons, E-U-L-L Gibbons. But our plants that we intake, not everybody's a total grain eater. A lot of people skip salads, especially if you have a burger. Lettuce and tomato does not count as a salad, folks. And ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise do not count as salad dressing. So let's get that straight with it. When you're smoking weed, you don't usually have a problem with weight loss. And that's due to specific cannabinoids. And if you look up the cannabinoid chart that I posted on the group, and I'll share it again. I'll share all those pics together in one post and say, ta-da, here they are. In fact, I'll have that done before you even see this video uploaded. So I'll pre-talk to you there. But basically, the terpenes are the smells. Evergreens, rosemary, and, and then tubers. Under the ground growers. Ginger. Ginger's a root. Top of the plant they do other stuff with. But the hot is in the root. And then it's like potatoes and anything that grows underground. Peanuts, and they all have specific tastes and aromas. And that's terpenes. And our terpenes can affect. So if you go just looking for an indica with an antipsychotic terpene profile, if that's what you need. If you need some heavy sedating pain relief and you want to take care of this, you need that terpene for that. Because sometimes it's the terpenes that help weight loss too. That's why some salads are really good to eat, you know. It's not all head lettuce chopped up like it is on salad bars. That I worked in restaurants for 30 years, and that's all we put out there was head lettuce. Green leaf was actually used as a decoration. Okay, and people didn't eat it, but that's much more nutritious than head lettuce. That round head lettuce, it's worthless. Don't eat it. Get the bundles of romaine that are fresh all together in a bunch and in a bag. It's worth it to go to Sprouts. But this is your foods, and that's just it. The terpenes in the foods, the terpenes that make cinnamon hot and spicy. When you eat the cinnamon candies, right? Cinnamon itself, you put that on your tongue. No, it has to be made into something, and that releases the terpene profile that's hot. So that's where your terpenes come in, and that hot is warming. And what it means by that, it's like herbal. It warms the blood, and it helps blow away fever. It actually helps burn out a fever. You know, it's like chicken soup. There's actual stuff in chicken soup that's calmative. And a lot of it comes from the celery and other veggies that they put in there. Unbelievable if you really think about it. Look it up. That's all I can do. I can read this over and over. You know, it says like these terpenes bonding with cannabinoids can sometimes turbocharge them. And that's what I mean is by adding to the effect. Okay, THC gives you the munchies, and you might actually need to gain weight, and your body knows this, and use this other terpene, and it'll help you maintain weight. If you look at it that way. So, you know, if you, like they say, an indica packed with the terpene limonene is really citrus. And sativas with linalool, which is peppery. And beta-carotene is also peppery. And those are like cinnamon almost. They're a spice. And spice is spicy. And they do more things to our bodies than just give us taste. They taste good and our bodies accept them because it needs it. That's why when I took these new age biologic pills, the only 2 times I took some were Humira and Lyrica, that they're pushing and pushing and pushing still, 6 years later. First dose, first pill. Took it at bedtime, like I'm supposed to. Boom, stabbed me in the gut. Woke me up. I woke up like going, ah! Like Freddy or Jason came in and, And I went and I puked, and there was blood in it, which is it looks like coffee grounds. I did not take another pill. That was Humira. Boom, Lyrica. Same thing. And in all this time, I'm starting to climb the pain scale as my discs and everything were just starting to really deteriorate. And everything was getting more and more painful in increments, month by month. And that's the way my pain's always been, and it still is. Like, that's how I actually got the doctor to give me a 4th immediate release morphine a day. Because I hit those high pain numbers. And I maintain them. And like I've said before, morphine only brings me down to here. Cannabis brings me down here. And that's what improves the quality of your life. Okay, imagine here is a blinding toothache. Right here, right up in here. Right up behind the eye. Makes you like this all the time, and you can't, and you get an infection and that pain. All over your body, or in different parts of the body for a certain amount of time, and it'll move around. That's what having fibromyalgia is like. All your muscles just go to shit. And terpenes And cannabinoids help in bone growth. There's even an herb called bone set. Look it up if you're botanical. Just look it up under botanical and you'll find it. Okay, herbs. Look up any herbal book and it'll tell you the medicinal properties of those herbs. And you can compare those to the pot. Right? That's a way right there to test your pot without buying any. Is you want to see these terpenes and what they smell like to you. Because some people don't like pine. This one friend I had online here, she goes, she says, I've always felt tense in a pine forest. And that's just it. And any foods with pinene in it, and any pot with pinene in it, would affect her negatively. So there are slight allergies for some people. Some people can't really take hemp. Or they can't wear the hemp clothes until they're well washed in and worn in. Because when they're first fresh, they're really stiff, but they wear in instead of wearing out. That's another property that gets into industrial side of the hemp plant. But back to cannabinoids. CBD is heavy in hemp. They take the leaves. The rest of the plant you can make fuels to replace fossil fuels, paper to replace tree paper, and unimaginable things. Paints, varnishes, shellacs can be made from hemp instead of chemicals, petrochemicals. Okay, you drive through these cities that have lumber mills. They reek because they're pumping this water out all the time that they've run over the paper and can't use anymore. They dump it into the nearest river. It's been that way for decades, centuries, maybe. And it affects things. So, but I'm getting off topic. Where the hell was I? I told you, I'm just here and there. Let me look back at her question. Where did it go? There it is. So getting back to her question there. If you don't have the finances, right there. She has no local dispensary. It's got another county. So, so the options. CBD from hemp. Through the mail. It is price comparison, very affordable. Okay, I pay $30 for a 30 ml bottle of the THC tincture. It's THC and glycerin. Now the same size bottle of hemp oil from Tracy is $26 plus shipping. I get away with not having, because I'm go drive to the dispensary. That's what costs my shipping, is the gas mileage. But you can get through the mail different strengths. There's a 50, 100, 200, and a 900 unflavored full spectrum oil. And they have a pet blend, where dose dependent on the dog. Big dog, give him a whole dropper, I think. Ask Tracy, ask questions. A half-size dog, but, nice little lap dogs, give him a half dropper. Mine, I give her like a quarter. She laps it up, she's great. And she's been getting the pumpkin treats. I tried to buy some at the dispensary this coming, on the 1st, right after Halloween. Dispensary day. So anyway, there's also terpenes in the cannabis. Because this has this salve that's made with all these good beneficial oils. Aloe and, tea tree oil. And it's got a really indescribable scent. But it's actually calming, and it helps my muscles relax. So that's not just the pot. It's the terpenes in the pot that are helping. And CBD, and I think they have added terpenes so you can get these different things now. And the mushroom blend. I haven't been looking over at the menu, but I know she's still got the pet blend, and it's on sale right now. $19.99 instead of $25 or $29.99. Okay, got you, Tracy. So, she's banned. So, the options in the using CBD is right there. Go to Tracy's, Morgan Gibson, hempsavedme.com. Simple. Hempsavedme, one word, .com. And CBD Hemp Saved Me Facebook page. You'll have to ask to join, and I think you have to be one of her friends. Just the same as my groups run. So, that helps dogs with stress and anxiety, just like it does for us. So see, CBD, right there it tells you it's been tested on animals, and it does them good. It does the body good. Cannabis is healthier and safer for us than milk. It is healthier and safer than our own tap water. Any major city, I think I said before, they took 150, 170 samples from around the world of tap water. You know, there's over 100 countries, and so there are 170 tap water tests, you know, that you can actually turn on and water comes out. They all had, 85% had plastic. 85% of the world's water supply has plastic in it. And this shit is man-made from petrochemicals, and it's crappy, and it's unsafe. And that's where hemp comes in. And its industrial properties. I'm plugging hemp now, instead of answering the question. But CBD itself, from the hemp plant, is the strongest place to find it. When you're smoking it for a sativa, you're taking a lot less than you'd get from Tracy's product. And hers is direct. It doesn't have to go through your system smoking-wise or eating-wise. You put it right under your tongue, and it gets into your system quickly. So, for allergies, this my friend's dog, her breed is prone to tumors, environmental, and food allergies. CBD from hemp. Trust me. Go to Tracy's site. Dun, dun, dun. And like she's saying, she says right here, praying that someday our society in general, and specifically our health insurance companies, doctors, and pharmacies will accept all the potential of these natural alternatives for treatment and or cures for many issues that currently cannot be addressed by big pharma and their prescribing doctors. In my opinion, a perfect option would be for these various special interest for-profit organizations to prescribe, honor the alternative options of, and finally cover the costs of, as they do currently with all of these toxic new drugs. I blended it into mine too. But these substances that she says that may or may not cure or improve your condition, or even cause you to experience various temporary and permanent side effects. Invokana and Invocamet. Amputations. Diabetics are losing their feet from this crap. It's unsafe. Now that there's a lawsuit on it, you can't get me for slander. It's out there. It's on the public. It's on TV. They publicly announced it, so they can't call that slander. But that's just it. Big Pharma, the AMA, they're holding up pot legalization, and they should not. They should be embracing it. They can get in on the bandwagon, specialize in certain strains, and have a consortium of all the companies go, okay, we'll make these certain strains, we make these certain strains, and you keep all these growing separate so that they can't cross-pollinate and make new strains, because that's what will happen. But if you grow them all at these different places, everybody can get in on the bandwagon, and the money trickles down through the economy. Right now, half of the cannabis use in America is being spent and sent to Mexico. and various other holdings and countries. So that's where we need the rest of the states to just legalize. And if they just start falling like dominoes, let the federal government just say, okay, we'll lift this prohibition, because that's what should happen. Headache's gone. These are those magnets. I can't get them too close to the phone. Freshly shaved last night. But I feel feverish, but, Debbie can feel me, and she goes, you're clammy. But it feels like I'm 120 degrees. That's what a flare is for me. My skin is just super sensitive. But cannabis has been helping me this morning. I'm just not going to smoke any now because I was coughing really bad earlier. But my friend here makes the point that these special interest for-profit groups, which is Big Pharma, and everybody in that economy that's holding up legalization, are doing us a bad, bad disservice. And it shouldn't be legal what they're doing to block this. If this was done between corporations and the open market, between two Wall Street companies, nobody gives a shit. But everybody's afraid to put their foot in the marijuana pool. And they shouldn't. They should jump in and join the bandwagon. Get on board for the hayride coming up this year. Just legalization. Because these new drugs, I just told you in the last couple of videos, I talked about the biologics. Recombinant DNA from plants and animals. Those are things that we should not be ingesting. That's why they give you side effects of possible tuberculosis, birth defects in your future children. They're covering their butts by saying this. They're saying there's a possibility of this in the future, that your fetus is going to come out bad. And they've covered their ass on national TV. And that should not be. Because they're putting a knife in the market of what should be a freer economy that will bloom and make money for people everywhere. And it's a safe, if you can afford to grow it, you can afford to make it up and package it and ship it to people. And it should be allowed. Interstate travel. It's a green crack coming this way. And they meet at the truck stop down at the Nevada-Arizona border, or New Mexico-Arizona border. Meet at the truck stop. What do you got? Purple Dream. Hey. It'd be like beer truck drivers and regular truck drivers. What are you hauling? Some purple skunk. Yeah. See all the hippies hanging around it? Had to put that in there. But she says right here, these toxic substances may or may not cure. This is what I've been saying, and this is what I hope gets shared. Is that the permanent side effects of these health issues doesn't just go into your health. It digs into your financial future too. These new biologics leave you open for mega bad things to happen to your body. My body threw them away the very first dose. That told me I should not be taking them. And that's the way my body works. I don't eat certain foods because they react bad on me and they taste bad from the start. That's my body telling me, no, we don't like this. I can't stand the taste of cow's milk. Can't. I get a very slimy feel in my mouth from the lactose. But almond milk, hemp milk, oat milk, we have all those. And I mix them up, all three, one part, 1-1-1 mixture. And they taste great. And Debbie says it tastes like milk. But that's not the way milk tastes to me. And I can't. It screws up my guts. I can just have one of those little half-pint cartons you used to get in junior high school. One of those little cartons. Puts me on the toilet for a couple hours. Chemical profile. That's what it comes down to also. There's your THC and CBD. They are chemicals. Everything's a chemical. This tablet's a chemical. These could all be made from hemp safely. Even this coaster, this glass coaster from me and my gal, me and Debbie. I used that. Got a coaster with that, and I got a coaster with my grandson. And I got a coaster with my daughter. I switch them out. But there's a future you have to watch out for with these new drugs too. And if they get pissed off at me, screw them. Okay? It's proven fact that they're pushing these poisons. And that's why they tell you all the side effects on TV before they even say, ask your doctor for this today. Would you show up to get tuberculosis for free just because it was free? No. Nobody would choose to have tuberculosis. Why do you want to risk it with these pills? Okay? And especially if you're prone, your family's prone to it. Some of these drugs says if your family is prone to cancer, not just that you have it, but that you might pass it on to your progeny through your DNA, just the way the red-green color blindness goes through my family. My grandfather gave it to my mother, to me, to my daughter, to her sons. And if they have daughters, they'll carry the gene of, but they don't have red-green colorblind. Only the boys do. Mother carries it. And that's DNA. Everybody with blue eyes is related to one single ancestor who had a genetic misfire that gave him a blue eye. Fact. Science. Look it up. And that's the same way it is with these new drugs. I mean, look up these drugs and read what they usually put in those little pamphlets with the teeny tiny writing. Read all that. It will scare the shit out of you. If it doesn't, you're a hard-hearted person, and I hope you never need to take this type of drug. I wouldn't wish these drugs on anybody. They're unhealthy. This is cross species. Okay? And it's DNA that they're messing with. This isn't the same as growing a human ear on a mouse's back. It's not the same. And my wife could get into the science of it. I can't. But when it comes to our weed, the chemicals in it are these hydrocarbons, these cannabinoids, and the THC that all break down into simpler substances. I mean, they enter our bodies as simple hydrocarbons, which are the building blocks of amino acids, which build our DNA. Pot heals our DNA. It goes where it's needed throughout the body. And every cannabinoid goes by, the liver needs this, the spleen needs this. Okay? Our bodies know these things. That's why you get cravings. In fact, that's why people get cravings. Because there's something in there that your body wants. And it's telling you. And this is like a primeval thing that our ancestors would have been like, you know. Boom. They would have noticed food make me good. You know? Because that's all they had time to do. Now what's everybody got time to do? Okay, we've gone from taking all day to learn how to make a fire to 18 years of school through the millennia. And the way we've accelerated our learning and our brain skulls and all this stuff. But way back when, they used foods because their bodies craved them. They said, oh, for some reason I want this all the time. And they noticed if it made them feel better. Terpenoids. That's interchangeable, really. There's not a real difference between them. They're both the same. Terpenoid is a terpene. Terpene is a terpenoid. Sorry, cottonmouth. So, I hope I answered your question, sweetheart. That it's buy a little indica and a little of a sativa. And write down notes. Keep a chart. I used to. Now I keep it all in my head. I know what flavors to listen for. You know, if I hear Lemon Ghost Train, I'll go, dun, 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 because I've gone over it before. I've used it before. I could sit here and name off 100 strains without even trying. And on more than half of them tell you the terpene profile. And that's because I've had time. 4 years. Today, this is my 5th year. In fact, what is today? Oh, it was 4 days ago. It was the 21st. It's my 5th year on medical marijuana. And it has made my life great. Where the biologics failed, and my body threw them out because they knew it didn't belong in me. These biologics that do this to our body should not be there, should not be in our bodies. Simple. So that's where Big Pharma and their lobbyists in Washington and probably the Justice Department and Jeff Sessions' pocket maybe, I don't know. I'm not laying blame on anybody. But Sessions needs to get off pot and the good people don't smoke marijuana. Between the lines, I've basically given you everything in all my videos. If you go back, you'll see each of my titles will have specifics that I've gone over. I mean, I can sit here and go back and forth, but the main thing about getting your weed is, you know, you've got to have a place to get it. You got to have the dispensary. And that's where my friend's problem is their county has a ban on all medical marijuana dispensaries, which is stupid. If the rest of the states have done it, why not? Okay? But if you can get to that other county and get yourself some, and do it in the privacy of your own home, I am not advocating illegal use. If you illegally can't even smoke it in your house, I can't advise you on that. Covered my ass. Let's put it that way. But my friend, he's hoping to be pointed toward a reasonably priced source for all the necessary products. And he's disabled and on a fixed income like me. And she's praying sometimes that our society in general, and specifically the health insurance companies, will accept all the potential of these natural alternatives instead of the toxic biologics. It's so simple. Yet they push these things on these commercials. And all I can keep reiterating over and over, just like their commercial, over and over, till I know these side effects by the letter from hearing them talking really fast. You know, if you especially get diabetic over the liver and it's going to happen. And I sit there and I go, holy shit. And if there's something I didn't understand, I'll look it up. And I'll look at that drug. Because that's what this technology here gives us the ability to. As I'm sitting here, you know, I can go from her to a website over here. We've got it at our disposal. Leafly.com will give you as much of the terpene profile as they can. For further genetics, you want to ask your lab, because my place, they can't keep up with the THC level. They're selling it that fast. So they don't really have a system of keeping the THC level at hand or even on the computer yet. That's how fast we go through these different strains. Because I'm constantly getting new and different strains at this dispensary. And they've always got almost 18 to 20, 18 to 24, these little tester bottles. They pop off and smell the bud. Little glass apothecary jars. And it tells you the strain on them. You can smell the terpenes. Smell the weed. If you're at your dispensary, they should be able to give you a smell test. You know, something that you can breathe off of. Because that right there will tell you if you want to smoke it. You know, if it makes you feel nauseous, it might be the diesel. Because there is a diesel terpene. There's a combination of terpenes that make it taste like diesel. You know, and it's that taste of what a truck engine puts off, I guess. You know, I've never really noticed it. Because basically all weed tastes the same to me. Because I never get high. I never get past the point to where I can even hit the euphoria. So before I know it, my body's utilized the entire thing. And I can't even keep track of my terpenoids anymore, but when they say it has a citrus or a floral or a diesel scent, that's all you need. That and the potency. And they'll tell you, this will put you on the couch all day. This will give you the munchies. This has this in it. This has this in it. This type of aroma. This type of flavor. And you've got to test them. Like I said, if you can test a bud first, you'll know if you want to buy it. Then if you buy it and don't like it, you won't get it again. You're going to have to trial and error. A sativa with these effects and this kind of terpene profile. And then you need to keep finding it. My dispensary goes through to where not all things, you know, only Blue Dream and a couple other strains are constant. All the other ones are ever changing to new and more improved. I mean, now I've got this stuff, iced grapefruit, that makes the green crack look like, yeah, like Con over the Hulk or whatever. I don't know the cartoons. I'm getting on an hour here. Basically, I hope I answered your question, sweetheart. You know, I want to do this in a video for all, so this will be on my pages. Give it a share, because everybody needs to learn that hemp and cannabis are the future of healthcare and the future of industry. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, I hope a lot of you had a good sleep last night, because you'll see this in the morning. It's actually going on 10:20 now, because I'm almost an hour. Here we go. Prosit. As I drink my hot pot tea. Hot pot tea. Da-da-da. I bet a rapper would do something like that. I like my hot pot tea. I don't know. So, I'm just rompering around in my head. Like I said, it's been a bad week. That's what a flare does. But I at least got through this, and I hopefully answered your questions. And I hope I answered other people's questions before you even thought to ask. Of how do I pick a strain? Well, that's what it's going to take for you. First of all, do you have, like me, intense chronic pain to where you can't function? You sometimes have to walk holding the walls because you can't tell where your doors are. You know, that's bad pain. Debbie has to leave me along, because I'm just, when my pain level gets up there, I can't do anything, and it's blinding, and it's intractable. It is acute and chronic at the same time, because it comes on it suddenly, and it stays there for a week or so, like this flare is staying in there. I mean, I feel like 120 degrees, or the ground out here gets out to 140 degrees. I almost feel that hot to myself. But if anybody else feels me, See, that's my nerves. And that's an autoimmune problem. Cannabis helps that. So that helps anybody there. Okay, my bone growth. Cannabis helps. I don't know if it'll stop the bone growth on my stenoses or not, but I'm not going to stop smoking because it helps me move. I couldn't be this animated if I was up here in pain. I'd be like this. What? Seriously. I barely remember, but Debbie tells me the story all the time, so I remember it. 4 blankets they put on me, shivering to death, sweating profusely because I was hot, and the air conditioning was on in the office. My body was going in 2 different directions at the same time. That's what chronic pain will do to you. It switches off something in the mind. It does something to the nerves. Because I get creepy crawly sensations all over my body. Until I smoke weed. Morphine just gives me the pain relief. Pot gives me that extra stuff that you need for a quality of life. Like I started out by saying. And my quality of life is like going from a blinding daily toothache all over your body every day for months to bearable. To where your bearable pain makes you look pain-free to everybody else. But if you see me walking, I've got a cane. I've got a big, long, 5-foot-tall stick. That's what I use. I got a wrist. I got a nice nylon rope on the wrist that I put through my hand. And it's a good defensive weapon. Whack, whack. Yes. Because now that I'm limited, mobility-wise, pot helps me on that. So it helps you on mobility. It helps you on weight loss. It keeps you cancer-free. It cured my COPD, chronic bronchitis, and asthma. And it's curing my emphysema. And if I ever get a cancer, I probably won't. Because I'm taking such high doses of everything. High doses of CBD, hemp, and THC. I've got a whole bottle of each of the tinctures. But I get a lot of the CBD, so I go through the THC faster because that gives me the better pain relief. And that's why I mix my strains up. And I have sativicas and indicas. And I even mark on the joint. I'll put the initials of the strain so I know what strain is in there. And I rotate things out so I never smoke an old stuff. Gotta watch your rotation. Old joints get really dry and nasty. So, and that's because the terpenes have gone away. If your weed gets dry, if you can't let your weed get dry, it should be optimally at 62% humidity. And that's optimal for keeping the buds fresh for months. So, legalizing pot. Financially for this country, it is a boon. Industrially and environmentally, it is the future if we would embrace it. Okay, if we would re-embrace hemp like we did as a country that started the Revolutionary War. It wasn't all about the tea. It was English paper. We were using hemp and said we don't need King George's paper. Well, King George said, yes, you do, and sent troops over to enforce the law. Ta-da! Revolution. The Boston Tea Party was one small act. It goes deeper. The puzzle is deeper, and it's all coming out. Because hemp was scrubbed from the history books. And it's still omitted from many, even the Smithsonian. So, all the resources you can find on the internet, you'll be able to tell, first of all, from their website, whether they have an 800 number you can contact them, or an email that when you email them, you get a response within less than a week. You know, sometimes it takes 2 months, and all of a sudden I get this email, go, this was 2 months ago. What the hell? You know, I thought they weren't going to ever answer. I don't know where the hell my shit ended up in the pile. That's what happens. So, looking at websites, do not buy it through the mail. Hemp, CBD, yes. You can even get Kratom through the mail. Put that in for Edie. But don't buy pot through the mail. It's federal. Just think about it. You end up in federal prison. Because it is still a federal law. And that's the problem. We need it lifted 100% by the government. For the people. Raise our glasses high. Toast to cannabis and hemp. Free them from the prison of ignorance. And I hope I helped everybody find out how to tell some terpenes and how to check your weed and see what is going to work for you. Because that's what it's going to take. That's what it took for me. And that's why I know when I look at the strain identifier on Leafly, that's what I know. And sometimes if Leafly hasn't even got the strain yet, my dispensary made it. They'll tell me. Because they smoke. They get carded, just like I do. They wear their card. And they're allowed to smoke because they're carded. Because they work in the industry. See, that's jobs. We open dispensaries, you create jobs. And it's a great way for kids to get in on the bottom ladder. Just don't ever steal. Because they watch their money and their buds like a hawk. Don't pocket anything. Okay? That's just stupid. But we're talking about pot, and like I said, I'm flaring, I'm just wandering. But I wanted to say this in a video and say hi. That's why you haven't seen me around. But share this around. Go to share my other videos and share those. Okay? They're all on YouTube. You've all got my email address. It's all over. So, rthuff415@gmail.com. Ta-da! I've got a few subscribers. Let's get some more. Share my videos. Tag state representatives. If you think my language in it can be shown. Proofread it first. Proof watch it. You know, because sometimes I get angry and fist pounding mad and slip up and curse a little bit. So, you don't want to give it to your state legislatures if there's going to be an FU in it or something. Because when I talk about the two different cultures of the, you know, the regular stoners and the anti-weed Nazis, cannabis patients are stuck in the middle. And that's what we're looking for here. We're looking for medicine. And this is how you can tell what's going to be the best medicine for you. That is not a biologic agent like Big Pharma's pills. But it's a natural plant substance that we can consume. And it's beneficial for your gut. And makes all sorts of different things. I mean, we just need the bud to smoke. The rest of the plant can be used industrially. Added to the rest of hemp. Because it's not going to turn the hemp THC toxic. It's then going into a product. It's made into oriented strand board, wall board, concrete, and paints, shellacs. Everything but the wiring, anything that has to be metal in your house. But a lot of your plumbing can be made from hemp. And it's either made biodegradably, or be biodegradable, or not. Depends on how they make it. Just two different, and it's so easy. And we're not using it. We're still cutting down trees. At the rate of what? 43,000 acres of trees a day to wipe our asses. Okay? I'll leave you with that thought for a while. Just think about hemp. And everybody else, there you go. Cannabinoids and terpenoids. You're only going to really get the best answer from trial and error on yourself. And so, if you can get it, and you're legal, if you're legal, enjoy. That's all I can say. Try to enjoy every strain. Try to look into the flavors and the aroma and what it does to you. And see if there's something about it you don't like. And if there's maybe a balance of it has good effects, but you don't like the taste. You might want to try something with the same terpene profile, but a different moniker. Maybe an albino instead of a purple, or a green and orange hair instead of a purple hair. You know, because you have all of those choices. And that's what's wonderful about weed. So, peace out, everybody. I hope you learned something. Hope I didn't bore the shit out of you when I just wandered around. But I'm going to go back and just relax, kick back for another day or two. Maybe I'll be back in the swing about this weekend. Peace out. Take care.